And let's toss it over to Zach Mackey and Taylor Mathis, who are standing by in the sports studio to find out what teams are climbing their way up the national rankings. Guys?
Thanks, ladies, and happy National Student Athlete Day to you both.
We'll get to those national rankings in just a bit, but first, one woman basketball player received honors over the weekend.
Senior point guard Samantha Logic has been named to the 10-member Women's Basketball Coaches Association Division I All-American team.
Logic is the 4th All-American in program history and is the first Hawkeye to receive this honor since Tony Foster in 1993.
The Racine, Wisconsin native is the only player in NCAA history to accumulate at least 1,500 career points, 900 rebounds, 800 assists, and 200 steals.
Congrats, Sam.
The transition from high school to college isn't an easy one, but one transitioning from a foreign country to the United States is even more difficult.
Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Taylor Brooks went one-on-one with 2 Iowa track and field athletes to find out their story about coming to America.
When it comes to recruiting for track and field, the process is known to be a global enterprise. So when going overseas to attract athletes to the Iowa track and field program, it isn't that difficult.
It's not uncommon and something that I've done in 18 years of coaching, to go outside the United States and overseas and Australia, Africa, Europe, and we've had a good record here.
The team's record continues for 2 Iowa distant runners. They made America their home to continue their dream of running.
I just fell in love with Iowa. I didn't come for a visit, but I don't know. I just had a feeling that I could have like a spot here for me.
This whole team spirit is really unusual for me. We don't have that in Europe at all, and I was just flashed when I came back. And so I talked to my families and to my friends from home, and then I decided, okay, I want to go there.
Freshman Marta Gonzalez moved from Mérida, Spain, where running has always been a part of her life, but the change to the States had its difficulties.
It was hard at the beginning for me because my English wasn't really good when I came here, so the first month was really hard. But now I'm like, this is my routine.
For junior Anne Reichman, she grew up in Ravensburg, Germany, where her mother had a big influence on her running career.
I did the first run when I was 3, I think, with my mom. She was a runner, and I did at first like everything on the track, sprinting and long jump and even throwing. But running was always my skill.
The 2 athletes have made the adjustment together, creating a bond that will continue through their careers here at Iowa.
Now she's is my best friend here, and she's like, I don't know, she's helping me all the time, everything I need, and she's older, so I think she's like now my older sister here.
This has been Taylor Brooks for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The spring season for the 2 Hawkeyes is in full swing as they head to the Mount Sac Relays in Walnut, California, April 17th and the 18th.
And traveling with them is their male counterparts, who were just ranked 25th today for the first time this season in the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association Top 25 Division I National Team Computer Rankings.
Iowa was unranked during the preseason, but have since climbed up 8 spots following nationally ranked individual performances in the past 3 invitationals.
And now, to catch up on how some other Hawkeye athletics performed over the weekend, let's toss it over to our Whip Around crew. Take it away, Aaron.
Thanks, guys. This weekend, the Iowa men's tennis team faced off against Big Ten rivals Purdue and Indiana. On Friday, the team traveled to West Lafayette, where they came away with a 4-1 win over the Boilermakers. They traveled south on Sunday to Bloomington to take on the 44-ranked Hoosiers. This time, it was Indiana who came away with the 4-1 win. Iowa, now ranked 68, looks to bounce back on Wednesday as they traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers. For Hawkeye Tennis, I'm Erin Gallagher. Now I'll hand it off to Alyssa Klosterman with baseball.
The Iowa baseball team improved their Big Ten record after a pair of consecutive conference sweeps against 17th ranked Indiana and the University of Purdue this past weekend. The Hawkeyes improved to 6-0 in the Big Ten standings for the first time in program history and recorded its first national rankings for the first time since 1990. Up next, the Hawkeyes will host Milwaukee Wednesday at 6 p.m. here in Iowa City. Now I'll toss it over to Jordan with coverage on women's tennis.
Thanks, Alyssa. The Iowa women's tennis team fell to 2-5 in Big Ten matches this past weekend after taking on Wisconsin and Minnesota on the road. After Saturday's 4-1 loss to the Gophers, the Hawkeyes couldn't seem to clinch their match against the Badgers on Sunday, losing 4-3. Come support the ladies as they take on Ohio State and Penn State this coming weekend here at the Hawkeye Tennis and Recreation Complex. I'm Jordan Maloney with DITV Sports, and that's all for today's Monday Whip. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, ladies. And after that impressive sweep over the weekend that Alyssa just mentioned, the Iowa baseball team has climbed to number 15 in the latest collegiate baseball NCAA Division I poll, presented by Big League Chew.
Just a week ago, the Hawks made their debut in the rankings at 24th and jumped up 9 spots this week.
That will do it for us here in the sports studio. Megan and Abby, back to you at the desk.